JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 20th of August 2021. So yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Friday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website and specifically our JFD research page, which we also update on a daily basis. So you have to check us out here on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab right there on the top. So now then, jumping into the charts, quickly I want to pick up here on Nikkei 225. Basically, everything's kind of, and if everything worked out according to the plan this week, so we got that break, the one that I was talking about from the beginning of this week, so the break of the 27,385 zone. Then we what I was saying then was that a further decline could be possible towards my next target at the 27,000 mark, and as you can see, we managed to reach that, and this is exactly where we got a little hold up here. So basically, I would say mission accomplished on this one, and yep, we need to kind of reevaluate things again for next week. But I'll pick up on this one on Monday morning. Because basically, if it continues to drift lower below this hurdle and stays below this area, below this 27,000 territory, then yes, further declines could be possible. But in a way, I mean, if the market sentiment kind of improves a little bit, maybe a bit of a rebound here could be possible. So keep that in mind. A continued chat room here. Yep, Erica and Evo, good morning to you too. I hope you're having a wonderful start of the last trading day of this week. So, coming back to the markets, Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index, and here, yep, we can see that we are continuing to slide, and in a way, everything's according to the plan here, I would say. So yeah, for now, long story short, I mean, we've also managed to reach my target here. In the beginning of this week, I told you that if we drop below this 25,615 territory, then yep, my next target is the 25,093 territory or the 24,748 level right here, marked by the lowest point of July, which we managed to reach perfectly. So that's a good achievement, so good result. Now let's see what's going to happen further. Again, we do have still around 50 minutes left of trading here on this one on Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index, but yeah, for now, I mean, let's be very careful here. I would say let's leave this one for next week, and then we'll pick up on it again, because if it rebounds from here, from this territory, we might see maybe a push back towards this downside line. If it holds, yep, another slide could be possible. So basically, the standard scenario. However, I would say that if it drops below this 24,748 territory and stays below it, then, well, if the body of the daily candle stays below it, then yes, we could consider further declines. The German index, so managed to recover somewhat, still closed in the negative territory, but yesterday. But yeah, look at this gap here, and well, I mean, it continued to slide, it continued to drift lower. This is what I talked about, guys, this week, that I needed to see a clear breakthrough one of my levels here. Here, although I did get a little break, but it wasn't. It was just fractional. And then the cash index, we saw the cash index reversing we're reversing lower, and yep, and then what I said, that if we drop below this 15,851 territory right here, now that's where I could go for some lower levels. Initially I would be aiming for that 15,802 zone. Then my next target would be that 21-day EMA, which we've perfectly reached, and then this was the kind of that may be that level that wasn't quite sure about it, but eventually we did reach it as well, this 15,700 territory right here. And yep, now you can see that the index is kind of getting here a little hold up near this 21-day EMA, or I would say got a little hold up near the 21-day EMA. So that's kind of good news for the buyers, potentially, maybe because we could see a bit of a retracement here back to the upside. Now currently the index is trading at around 15,730 zone, so we're basically below the 21-day EMA slightly. Okay. Okay, then in that case, I mean, I would say that if we continue to trade below the 21-day EMA, this certainly opens the door towards a possible further move south. Of course, initially we would have to aim for the current lowest point of this week near the 15,622 territory. If that gets cleared, certainly further declines are possible. But at the moment, guys, keep your eyes on that 21-day EMA. If we continue to trade below it, well, I mean, lower levels might be possible to see. The S&P 500, so one of those two indices in the US that closed fractionally in the positive territory, and yep, S&P was one of those. So it did drift lower, it pushed south, and it reached the area near the 4,367 territory, but then rebounded and made its way up again, and now it kind of tested the 21-day EMA. Underneath it got a hold up here, and now the big question here is what's going to happen further today, for example. Well, again, I would say there is still a bit of weakness here, and let me just quickly draw this trend line to see if it actually is doing its job. So this tentative upside support line, so we're very close to it. This upside support line is taken from the low of the 4th of March, the medium-term tentative upside support line. And yeah, so for now I would say let's be very careful here, be very cautious, and yep, for now, let's keep an eye on this upside line, because if it continues to provide support, then maybe not all is lost here for the bulls. But if this upside line gets broken and we see the price falling below yesterday's low as well, then, well, I mean, this could open the door towards further declines, guys. Maybe even going towards that 100-day EMA, or this level right here, the lowest point of July. However, I doubt that could happen today, but again, this could be quite a decent decline here. So let's be very careful for now, I would say, and let's keep an eye on this upside line at the moment. DXY, the dollar index, so got a good move higher yesterday, and yeah, it got a hold up near this, let me just zoom in here, near this 93.55 level. That's what I was aiming for. If you remember yesterday, I was just talking about this area. We managed to reach that, so great news. This is where we got a hold up, and now let's see if this scenario will work out a little bit here. So basically, I'm kind of considering maybe a bit of a retracement here back down. However, let's put it this way. If the price continues to trade above that 93.55 territory, then yes, we could go for some higher levels. But if it falls back below it and stays below it, then, well, maybe it's time for a bit of a corrective move here towards this upside support line. So let's see how this is going to play out. Again, if you're not comfortable with it, guys, always leave it. It's Friday, and yeah, there's always Monday. So again, this is one of those where it could, but again, if it's not giving us a clear picture, then let's just leave it for now. Gold here is trying to make its way higher. So basically, in a way, this is kind of coming in line with the idea of maybe DXY retracing a little bit, because it seems that gold wants to make its way higher. In a way, I would say from the very short-term perspective, if you want to look at some higher levels, well, wait for a pop above this little downside line here, taken from the high of the 17th of August, which is the current highest point of August. And if we climb above this area, then yes, we'll aim for this downside resistance line taken from the high of the 1st of June. WTI oil, guys. So you can see in the chat room that you are quite interested in this. So okay, so basically with oil, I mean, everything's working according to plan here. I mean, I was talking about this for quite a while, and not only this week, last week as well. And I said that this area here is the one to watch. Yes, we did have a decent decline here, but as you can see, it's always the case. If you think that an instrument is done going higher, done going lower, it will always go a little bit more. You can see that from, let's say, the commodity market. You can see that from the equity market. So that's why be very careful with that, guys, and keep that in mind all the time. And what's let's say what's already, let's say, enough for you, maybe not enough for somebody else. So you know, always be very careful on these ones. And here, for example, I would say that now, given the, let's say, how many days here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days in a row we were declining. Today's Friday, maybe we could see a bit of a retracement here at some point. Again, this is a bit of a tricky one because it's Friday, and to be honest, as I said just right now, that it could continue sliding. I mean, at the moment, maybe that's the little correction that we're having right now is going to be enough, and then yep, the seller's going to start jumping in again. I would say the way you could keep an eye on this one, for example, if, let's say, currently the current lowest point of today is roughly around the 63.53 level, and if we clear and drop below that, then yes, we could start aiming for further declines. But be very careful as well, because it's Friday. We could be could see a bit of a choppy session here. So yeah, that's why, I mean, if we drop below this area, yes, this could open the door towards lower levels. Still, I'm kind of aiming for this 200-day EMA right here near the 61.58 level, and then yes, so we'll take it from there. But again, at the moment, guys, I mean, I would say yes, we did have already a good decent decline. We are seeing slight correction here this morning. Can it go for a bit of a larger one? Well, I would say let's wait and see. And basically, another thing that you could keep an eye on here is, for example, if you draw Fibonacci to the current low here, you can see that, for example, the 23.6% is roughly around the 64.27 level. Here you can see that maybe we could get a little hold up here. If we don't, if we overcome this barrier, then we could go for a bit of a larger correction, maybe towards this 65.11 territory, the one that I talked about previously, or maybe even slightly above that. We do have the 38.2% retracement on the Fibonacci at 65.29 level, which could also provide a bit of resistance. So basically, something like this you could consider. Again, at the moment, I would say, me personally, I would leave it for now just to see how Friday is going to shape up, and then kind of do something about it on Monday. But at the moment, like I said, that's the way you could keep an eye on it. For example, like I said, if it goes for a bit of a little retracement here towards this 23.6% retracement, then keep your eyes on it. If it breaks above it and pushes slightly higher, then my next key resistance is around here, the one that I looked at as a breaking point for the downside. But if it fails, for example, to move above the 23.6, then we could see another slide. However, in that case, if I would be looking for the downside, then I would still prefer to maybe wait for the break below the current low near the 63.53 here, and then yes, we could take it from there. Bitcoin. Beautiful rebound from this upside line, so I'll take that. Yep, So now it seems that we're pushing higher. Yesterday I talked about this with you guys, and basically what I said, that if this upside line gets broken and we see the rate falling below the 42,532 level, then yes, lower levels could be met here. But as you can see, this upside line continued to do its job, and well, now yes, we could see maybe higher levels, but I would prefer to wait for a push above this 48.70 or 69 territory, this 48,069 level. This way the crypto would confirm a forthcoming higher high, and potentially more buyers could join in. AUD/USD. So this one is just getting destroyed this week, as you can see. So yep, we saw a further decline. In a way, everything kind of worked out according to the levels that I talked about. So basically, with the upside, I was saying that I need to see that daily candle staying above the 0.74 100 level here before we could get a little bit more excited with the upside, and we didn't get that. We only got the false breakouts, but we never got the daily candle, the body of the daily candle staying above that area. So instead, we saw a nice reversal here, and what I said before, that if we drop below the 0.78 and 90 territory, then that's where it could become a little bit more interesting for a few more sellers. However, what I was only aiming for was this 0.7222 level, which we've managed to reach perfectly. Yes, we found support a little bit here near that level, but then yesterday it just kind of dropped further below it, and well, it continued to slide. Let's say it did kind of overcome this little obstacle, the 0.7145. Certainly a very attractive level sits around, not here, but around here, which is the lowest point of November of 2020. And that's near the 0.6991 zone. And yeah, or even, let's say, this whole territory around that psychological 0.70 level. That's what could be interesting for the sellers. However, of course, don't get me wrong, we could see a bit of a retracement here at some point, but at the moment, guys, I mean, this is not really looking good here for this pair. Maybe, like I said, if DXY today corrects a little bit lower, then maybe we could see a bit of recovery here on this pair, but again, like I said, way too tempting to test this psychological 0.70 territory. USD CAD very quickly on that one, and yeah, beautiful move higher, of course. Weaker oil and stronger dollar. That's what the kind of the beautiful picture that you get here on USD CAD, and we managed to push above this 208 EMA, above that 1.2605 level. So yep, my target has been reached here. My target was only here near the 1.2807, 08, approximately around here, but we managed to overshoot it, and then ended up testing the high of the 28th of January, and if I'm not mistaken, also the highest point of January. Yep, that's correct. So the highest point of January of this year, and basically that's the high. That was the highest point of this year. Now we've created a new high. Can we stay above that previous highest point of this year? Well, let's wait and see. For now, I would say, again, keep your eyes on DXY. If it continues to rally, then certainly yes, USD CAD could continue pushing north. So keep, basically, long story short, keep your eyes on this hurdle. However, I would take a pause here, and I want to see how it's going to behave near this 1.2881 zone, and just kind of leave it there. We did in a very short period of time, we did have a decent up move here, so maybe a bit of a retracement here could be possible. However, again, let's see if the bulls have enough steam yet. No, sorry, not yet, but just in general, if they have enough steam. GBP Aussie, this one's quite interesting, and of course, some would say maybe it's quite overstretched already, but like I said before, sometimes it's not something. It's not the case of being overstretched. It's just that, you know, how the market shapes up in general. If there is still demand, then yeah, they will continue rallying. So, long story short here, basically you can see that I've drawn a Fibonacci retracement here. So okay, let me just, there we go, shift it a little bit here higher. So considering maybe some sort of a correction here. However, not a huge one at the moment, because at the moment, I mean, we saw that move yesterday towards this area, towards the area near the 1.9127 territory. We reached that target. This was one of my targets previously. That's the high of the 12th of May, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just quickly, 12th of May 2020. So that's what I talked about this week. My target has been reached perfectly. Can we see a bit of retracement right now? Well, we'll just have to wait and see, because again, this one's, although it's quite attractive maybe to go a little bit short here, be very careful, guys. Be very careful, because again, if the market sentiment remains in the risk-off environment, kind of, then yes, we could see a continuation move higher here, because AUD would be declining, and traders would be selling Australian dollars. And yeah, so this is where maybe it's not the strength of the British pound, but more maybe a weakness of the Australian dollar. So again, and if, let's say, if, you know, to apply the Fibonacci here, retracement, then after we reach the level, we already kind of reached this 23.6% retracement on the Fibonacci. So in other words, maybe we already did that little correction to the downside here. So so probably I'll get rid of it, and I'll just continue monitoring this barrier right here and see what it wants to do after. Euro against the Russian ruble. This is what I talked about this week. I do like to look at these exotic pairs here, and basically they're quite technical, and you can see why. So what I said to you this week when I was looking at this pair, I said that keep your eyes on this hurdle, this 86 territory, because if we get a nice daily candle staying below it, then yes, certainly lower levels could be met, but yeah, we did get just a false breakout, but then you can see that it reversed back up. We broke the downside line taken from the high of the 21st of April today. We broke that line, but drifted back down. So in other words, we're currently stuck still in this little triangle. It's a descending triangle, which according to all the TA rules tends to break to the downside, but again, until we get that break of the lower side of it, we cannot really get comfortable with the downside. So at the moment, we're just observing this one. But again, like I said, it's quite interesting to watch here. And another thing, if you, let's say right now, looking at this picture, you can see that this barrier, the 86.87, approximately around here, is doing its job so far. So if we get another pop above it, then yep, that's where it could open the door towards some higher levels. And finally, EURUSD. So this one continues to decline, and yeah, so at the moment we're seeing, of course, today we're seeing a slight correction higher, but can it continue moving higher here and get back above the 1.1704 territory? That's going to be a tricky one, because again, initially what I'm targeting here is this 1.16 zone, and I would say that if it stays below this 1.1704 territory, then yes, another slide might be possible, and then yeah, we will aim for those slightly lower levels. For the upside, again, if it climbs back above this 1.1704 and stays above it, then yes, we could go for some higher levels here, but only up until this downside line, because then we'll have to just take it from there, see what he wants to do after. So guys, that's it for this session, and I thank you very much, Erica, for the for the wonderful weekend wish. So yep, I wish you the same thing. I hope everybody will have a fantastic weekend. First of all, the most important, guys, today's Friday. Don't overtrade. If you don't see a clear picture somewhere, just leave it. Don't try to squeeze something out of it. Just like I said, just leave it and wait until that ideal moment for you, what you think could be a good moment to enter. Because again, don't try to overtrade. Always have your stop loss in place, and everything will be fine. So have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe, and I'll see you later. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.